In this video, I'm going to show you how I reset when I'm playing Rust. Sometimes you get into a death loop where you die, you go get your loot back, you die, you go get your loot back, you die, and you end up losing kit after kit after kit. This is my way of playing the game so that I can take out minimum risk and hopefully come back with maximum reward and kind of reset myself and get ready for that next loop of the game. So basically this entire strategy is going to revolve around a bone knife. I know it sounds like a really insignificant item in the game, and I think it's one that's commonly overlooked. But in this case, it's going to be our entire focus. It's our minimum risk item, and it's the only thing we're going to be going out with. In this case, I'm going to be taking 2 bone knives and a torch. The torch just because I've got one laying around, and I don't really need it anymore because I'm going to make a flashlight soon. And 2 bone knives just because, I don't know, I thought I might be a bit ambitious with this run. Once you've got the tools required for the job, the next thing to do is to pick a location that you're going to head towards. For me, I'm going to be heading towards Dome and Mining Outpost. They're both pretty close to my base, and it's going to allow me to get scrap from roads. It's going to allow me to take things to be recycled in the Mining Outpost. And then Dome, if it's not been cleared, I'm going to be able to clear myself and hopefully get a lot of loot. It's worth noting that if you are doing something like Dome, then it's going to be fairly high risk, and you're more likely to lose stuff than if you go to somewhere like Mining Outpost or like a regular outpost, for example, where there's a safe zone. Now, while we're out and about, what we're actually trying to do is just basically gather up resources. So you think about all the kits you've lost while you've been dying in your death loop over and over again. You want to build up those kits again. It doesn't have to be anything extensive. We just look at getting like maybe burlap or leather and just grabbing some resources. I use this just as time to chill out, just to enjoy the world around me. I tend to avoid too conflicted areas. I won't go to the launch site. I'll stay away from fights and things. It's very much just a take 10, go get a kit of cloth, a load of scrap, and then head back to base. And 9 times out of 10 is pretty successful. So we're going to be looking for cloth and hemp on the floor. We're going to be taking those seeds back or replanting them near our base. We're going to be grabbing stone nodes on the floor. We're going to be smashing barrels. We're going to be smashing signposts, and that's about it. Now, once I've got some resources that I'm happy with, it doesn't have to be a massive run, it could just be the first 5 minutes. I go, right, I'm going to bank this, I'm going to drop it off back at my base, I'm going to sort my furnaces or something for a minute, and then I'm going to head out and keep going. And I do this because I'm A, not far from my base, and B, playing it safe. That's the important part of this, is that I'm trying to play it safe and preserve the things that I'm getting so that I'm just making a net profit. Because remember, the only thing at risk here is a bone club. Now when I head out this time, I'm actually heading in the opposite direction to where I went last time. That's because I've already cleared the barrels down there, I've already cleared out by the mining outpost, and I know there's a road on the other side of my base. So I'm going out in another direction, again, just with either the gear I made from my previous outing, or with just the bone club. This is the important bit, is that we're banking as much as we can each time. In this case, I've chosen to take out the cloth equipment that I've made, but if you wanted to play it really safe, just drop it off. Just drop it off, leave it in your base, don't worry about it, and only take your bone club out again. Because then whatever you make beyond that is profit. Or, if you die, you lost 30 bones. Really doesn't matter. So while I'm out on these resource gathering adventures with the bone club, I will only engage in combat if I absolutely have to. 9 times out of 10, I find you can avoid it just by either going the long way around, or if you hear a sound, back away from it. If you hear somebody in a base, move away from the base. In this case, I heard somebody jump inside the base on my left, so I just headed right. I went to the road, took a right, and went in the opposite direction to get away from it. Something that really shocks me about this game is how few people realise that you can hit signposts that are scattered along the roads, like the actual road signs, and this will give you 1 pipe and 1 road sign. These are great for scrapping, you get 5 from each, and 1 high qual, so it's well worth doing. Now, one thing that I tend to do when I'm out and about is actually make external sleeping bags. So these sleeping bags that aren't inside the base, instead I scatter them in the nearby woodlands and try to use them as emergency sleeping bags. Let's say I die in that general direction, I can respawn at it. I've got them at outpost, I've got them at dome, I've got them around the mining outpost, I've got them in various places outside but around our base, so that if I die, I can spawn nearby pretty quickly and hopefully get most of my kit back again. And this is trying to recover what's been lost. So if I do die, if I do get killed by another player, then I can easily get back and try to get as much of that stuff back as possible. You'll find that people will take the scrap off of you, they'll take your ammo, whatever, and probably your guns, but they might not take your actual equipment that you've got equipped. They might not take like your armor, they might not take some of the other things you've got if you've got spare cloth and things, so it's well worth being able to go back and grab that stuff if you can. Now, I'm passing back through my base on the way to mining outpost. Again, I'm banking what I can. The rest of it I'm going to take back, I'm going to try and recycle it, and even if I die while making this last recycling run, at least I've banked all the stuff that I could up to now, all the scrap that I've grabbed from the barrels, all the supplies that we're going to use later on that we don't need to be scrapped. All those things are going to be banked, they're going to be safe, so if I die, again, it doesn't matter that much, you know, it's all about minimizing the loss if you do die. That's what these kind of eco runs, bone club runs are about. So yeah, I'm going to drop it off, I'm going to make one last trip to the mining outpost, and then probably call it there for this run. And so that was it, my final recycling run of the night, and with that I have been on 2 successful outings. The first one straight to the mining outpost, second one to the road, then back through base, then to the mining outpost. And in that time managed to get a full kit of armour, or burlap at least cloth. I've managed to get some wood, some stone, some seeds, some things, some scrap, plenty of scrap for an area where we've really struggled to get scrap in the past. And actually I call that success. I would say that I've taken 15 minutes, I've reset, and I'm ready to get back out, get back into the game sort of thing. And that's all this really is for me. I use it as a time to reset from the game, to break that death loop that you get stuck in of just losing kits. Sometimes it's not worth dying, grabbing kit and going straight back out again. I've shown you guys the full 15-minute run that I went on. So yeah, I hope this was beneficial. If you did enjoy the video, please go ahead and subscribe to the channel. I will be doing more, and leave a comment down below if this is something that you do, or if you have a variation on this. I'd really appreciate reading it. So thank you very much guys, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.